So I'm back. I told you guys that I was going to come back. I had to move positions because now I'm in my bed. But I'm looking cute though. Let me dab my nose like Jocelyn Hernandez, who I heard just came out with a real whack-ass diss track for Cardi B. I didn't hear either one of them because I really don't give a shit. I'm on here to talk about the ratchetness that I heard today about Jennifer Hudson. So let's chat, right? Let me get some water first. Let's chat about this. So word on the hood streets, right, is that J Hood is out in these streets getting protective orders against, I think his name is David Otungo. Okay, first of all, let's first say this. Her and her fiance for the last 50 years have broken up. Now, I didn't know they broke up. I just found out that they broke up. But a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, they broke up. I can't believe it. Come on. They were engaged for 10 years. Who gets engaged and stays engaged for 10 years? They would never get married. Like, that was never a marriage setup at all. Like, at all. You know, maybe he helped her keep the weight off. I don't know. But they were never going to get married. Because if you ask me to marry you, and after maybe a year, I'll give you 18 months. 18 months, a year and a half after proposal for us to walk down the aisle. If after proposal, a year and a half, and this is just me, some of you might be different, but then this is why y'all out here engaged for 10, 15 years, 12 years. This is my fiance. I've been with him since high school. You 35 now, and it's still your fiance. This is why some of you never get married, but you walking around engaged because you don't set strict boundaries. If you ask me to marry you, right, that means you want me to be your wife. Or that means you just want to hold me, right? And I ain't about people holding me, son. So we getting married. I give you 18 months. After 18 months, we're getting married. If we're not getting married, you can have your ring back. And then we can either stay in a relationship and you can move out to your own place because clearly there's some like commitment type shit going on. And don't give me the line of, you know, waiting to be financially stable, waiting for us to be right. I want a big wedding, waiting for this, waiting for that, waiting for Jesus, waiting for Santa Claus, the tooth fairy is coming. All this bullshit that people say as to why they don't get married, right? If you know you're not ready, why would you say yes to the ring? And if you know that you're not ready, why would you even get the ring, put it on layaway, pay on it, get down on one knee and ask a woman to marry you if you are not ready for that next step, which is marriage. Now, some men, like I said earlier, do it very selfishly and they do it to hold you, right? Because when you're in a relationship, you know your spouse. Oh, this light got me looking like Christmas. When you are in a relationship, you know your spouse. Men observe women just like women should be observing men. You know that in your relationship, if you ask your significant other to marry you, you know what type of woman she is. You know that if you ask her to marry you, that's all you ever need to do and you never have to marry her. There are some women that are like that. They'll walk around, this is my fiance. This is my husband. I have a coworker who says that. She's been with her man for 10 years. They are not married. She was married once before. They are not married. And they have 2 kids, and I asked her why she won't marry him, and she was like, because he doesn't know how to handle his money. He owns his own business, but he doesn't know how to handle his money, so he's done with money. And I'm not going to allow him to mess up my credit because he doesn't know how to deal with his money. Yet, when my students ask, they're like, oh, Miss Georgia married? I'm like, yeah, I'm married. Oh, they ask her if she's married. She's like, yeah. And she said it to one of the teachers, and they were like, oh, I didn't know you were married. well, I'm not really married, but we've been together for 10 years, so you might as well say. No, you might as well fucking not say. Because if something happens to him today, you are not his wife. So you might as well fucking not say. If you're not going to be married, why say? Just say, yes, that's my baby daddy. I'm shacking up. We live together. That's it. That's what we do. Don't be ashamed of a situation that you have decided to place yourself in. If that's just your baby daddy, and y'all been rocking for 15 years, and you know that y'all not married, he ain't never gonna marry you. He ain't even think about asking you to marry him, yet he keep popping babies up in you, and you keep popping them out. Just be like, yeah, that's my baby daddy. Oh, yeah, that's my boyfriend. See, but you get a lot of women who are in late 30s and in their 40s. They don't want to say boyfriend anymore. Like, they don't want to say this is my boyfriend. Because the shit sounds so childish. And it is. Oh, this is my boo. This is my bae. This is my significant other. Well, how significant is your other? Right? How significant is that person? Because if that person is making a significant impact in your life, then you might want to get papers on that person. And that's really what it is. It's just really getting papers on that person. I had, a few months ago, an older woman in her 50s in a relationship, been in a relationship for 10 years, literally helped the man raise his kids, and we're not married. Talked about getting married, talked about it. She was a significant fixture in his life and in his kids' life, yet they had both been married before, and they really didn't want to do it again, but they wanted to be together. Now, I know that there are different types of paperwork that you can do. If you have someone in your life that you want to be with but not marry, and you can say, okay, this person gets these assets, that person gets that assets. But to me, that shit is stupid. Anyway, that's it. Let's go back to Jennifer Hudson. So, engaged for 10 years. They were never getting married. And I don't know if that was on her part, if that was on his part, but they were never getting married. And if you even thought that they were ever getting married, you were a fool. They were never going to get married. They had that child. They've been together all of this time. And just recently, today, I read an article that he is pulling for full custody where the child lives with him the majority of the time, and then she gets the child kind of like partial, or no, they both have full custody, but the child lives with him. Their son now is 8. The child lives with him solely. That is what he is pushing for. Why? Because Jennifer is doing different shows. She's, on Broadway. She's doing The Voice. She's doing different things. And she's still really trying to pump out her career. She's still young. And, her career has always been like up, down, down, up, down, 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 kind of like too high to get over, too low to get under, therefore you're stuck in the middle. That's how her career has been. And she hasn't been stuck in the middle. She's actually been too low to get under. So with that being said, he requested for the child to live with him since he has been the sole caretaker for the child while she's been out of the home doing her career. I don't know who her attorney is, but you know what ratchet ass move she did? She went and filed a order of protection against this man so that when they go to court, it can be on the record that she had to file an order of protection against him. Now, reading this article, it's messed up because everyone around them is saying that he's the sweetest guy. He's never abused her. He's never abused their son. He's never even been aggressive with her besides like play wrestling and stuff like that. And everyone knows, if he doesn't know, he's a professional wrestler, but they've never had that type of relationship. Now, unless she come out and say something different, she's had black eyes that she's been covering up with Fenty makeup, then that's a different story. But as of right now, none of those stories have ever come out. So the move that she did was real, real ratchet. And what the article was saying is that she made that move because she does not want him to have sole custody of her son, to where as though she has to go to him for the child to spend time with her when she is not on the road. Come on now. Here you have a man who's been in a relationship with you for 10 years. You guys have a son. Hey, Faye. Hey, Felicia. You guys have a son. He is thinking about the best interest of his son, which is stability, which is a parent who can be there to support him. The boy is in school. So this man is thinking about the best interest of his son. And because you feel like you may lose this round, you're going to turn around and put a protective order on this man so it can look like this man has been abusive to you in your relationship. And let me tell you something. If he was abusive to you in your relationship after being with him for 10 years, you need to go to counseling. Because I don't give a shit what nobody say. I don't care. Abuse is horrible. I get it. But for a woman who has been abused by a man to just sit there and leave and be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, I don't need to do anything. No, you need to go to counseling, because if you're saying that this man abused you and that's why you got a protective order, you need to follow that shit up with some, well, yeah, I was in counseling for 2 years. I was in counseling for 3 years. He was in the house choking me up. Don't do no evil shit. Like, try to make this man look like he is a horrible man, because remember, shit is there forever. You guys have a kid together. So not only are you doing this now to kind of protect your heart and kind of fight dirty, your son is eventually going to find this out, and he's eventually going to see this. Now, I don't know if she's angry because the relationship fell apart, but on an interview, I believe she was on either Jimmy Kimmel or Ellen, and I don't know how the hell I got those two confused. One is daytime and one is at night. But they asked her about the engagement and why has it been such a long-ass engagement, 10 goddamn years. And she said, we're not in a rush. He ain't going nowhere. That was her response. But that's been her response over the years. When is the wedding? When is the wedding? Oh, we're thinking about doing it next year. It's going to come. We're going to do it. She knew it was never coming. That man came to her, and it came into her life at a time where she needed that kind of man, where she needed that kind of support. I think I just scratched the hell out of myself. Good thing this is my ratchet video. He came into her life when she needed that kind of support. Her family was going through a lot. She was really starting on her weight loss journey. And this man came into her life at a time where her life was really up and down and kind of in turmoil. And I'm sorry to say it, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe she used this man as a security blanket. Maybe she used this man as her fixer, like Olivia Pope. As something in her life that could be stable for as long as she could keep it stable. I just feel, and this is my humble opinion, I feel that it's a fucked up situation. And Jennifer, if this is what you actually did, it's fucked up. And in the end, you're not going to win. It's going to be a dirty fight that's really unnecessary. If you know that you're touring, if you know that you are busy, if you know that you are always on the road, why not let your son's father be a father and take care of his son? Why not allow him to provide stability? That's just selfish. With that being said, let's go back to the 10 years of engagement. Don't be dumb. I watched the movie yesterday. Just so happened to watch it on YouTube with my kids. It was a Thanksgiving movie, but there was a lesson that I learned in the movie, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, which I don't have right now. Fuck it. I'm going to paraphrase it. Young lady, been with her boyfriend 5 years. Boyfriend was away, was coming back in 2 weeks, said he had a very important question to ask her. She assumed that after the 5 years he was going to ask her to marry him. In the interim, there was a new man that came into the picture via work. They had to work together. And she mentioned to him that she was going to be newly engaged by Thanksgiving. And he said to her, good luck with that. She said, what do you mean? He said, it's been 5 years. If he hasn't married you yet, he's not going to. He's not going to ask you. And she was like, yes, he is. It's been 5 years. He's going to ask me. He'll be here in 2 weeks and I will be engaged by Thanksgiving. And he said he's not going to ask you. When he first met her, she was taking Spanish lessons. So he asked her, why are you taking Spanish lessons? Do you really want to learn Spanish? And she said, oh no, my boyfriend, soon to be fiance, that's how she was saying it, is a marine biologist and he travels the world and we want to travel together. So he wants me to learn different languages. So Spanish is the first language that I'm taking on, and that's why I'm learning it. He said to her, ask him, after 5 years of being together, is there anything that he would change about you? And see what his answer is. Because if he truly loved you, he would not be asking you to improve anything, because he would love you for who you are. But he's consistently asking you to change yourself. Let me get my charger before this cuts off on me, then I'm going to get super, super pissed. He's consistently asking you to change yourself because you are not enough for him. I said, holy shit. Holy shit. Now, where the hell is this hole here? Oh. I said, holy shit. What is this doing? Wait, I put the charger on. Wait. So, I said, holy shit. He might have hit the jackpot with that shit. So then it made me think. If you've been in a relationship with someone for a long time, and that person really loves you. Hey, Isha, this is my Ratchet Friday video. If that person really loves you, they don't want to lose you, and they plan on spending the rest of their lives with you, would they not want to lock it down? Or do they know you well enough to know that they don't have to lock it down, that they can probably knock you up and you'd be there with them forever? I remember when I was pregnant with my son, I did not get married yet. And I said to my husband, my now husband, who was my then not even fiance, I said to him, I do not plan on having any other children if I am not married. I'm just putting it out there. Because see, I'm hit or miss, right? I knew what I wanted then. I know what I want now. I always know what I want. I know what I expect. I know how I expect to be treated. And you're going to know that early on. You're going to know it early on, because I don't want you to make any fucked up mistakes that's going to fuck me up, because then I'm going to have to fuck you up. So I didn't pressure him. Mentioned it one time. And I don't know how long after that, I guess he decided we should get married. And it wasn't even a formal, will you marry me? It was just a, you know what? We might as well just go ahead and get married. That's what it was. There was no ring, nothing. That's what it was. Now, you may ask, why did he do that? And sometimes I ask myself, why did he do that? But I know the answer. He did it because he didn't want to lose me, and he was going to. Because if I tell you that I'm not doing some shit, I'm not doing it. See, you have very, very foolish men out here who think that if you have a child with a woman, she will stay with you. Slow hand raise, turn to the point. I'm not one of those women. Because see, every time I conceived a child, I also conceived in my head that I would be a single mother. Because at the end of the day, if I choose to have the child, right, I am the mother. He can stay or he can go. If he chooses to leave, I'm still the mother. So I trained myself, and no one told me this. I trained myself to be a single mother, almost to the detriment of my relationship, because my husband hated it. It was like it was just me, and he was like the sideline nigga. I would say some shit, and what I said was gold, and the kids wouldn't even listen to him. So it was difficult for him. And it's still kind of difficult for him. But he knew that I was not going to stay because I did not have to stay. And I had certain expectations of myself as a woman, and I had expectations of him. And if he couldn't fulfill those, that was perfectly fine. So that's when a nigga needs to get out the game early. If you know that you can't fulfill the things that the woman you are with is looking for, you should just pull out of the game early. Honestly. And that's what he should have done. That's what David Otunga should have done. Because to be in a 10-year engagement relationship, 10 fucking years, all of her 20s, all of his 20s, and some of his 30s, for it to end and for you to have to start over from scratch. And from what I hear out here on these ratchet streets, dating in 2017 ain't no motherfucking joke. You don't know if you dating a man or a woman or a man woman or a swoman. I just made that up, but it kind of went. You don't know what's going on. Why? Why after year 3? Why after year 4? Even year 5, did you not say, did either one of them not say, this shit is not working, and we both know that we're never going to get married? It's the persona. It is what people perceive. It's the same reason why Tamar Braxton is now going through divorce, right? Because you keep up appearances. Have you ever seen that show with Hyacinth? I love that show, Keeping Up Appearances. I've been watching it for years. It comes on PBS. But you keep up appearances because you don't want to be that statistic. You don't want to be that person that secretly everybody thought you was going to be anyway. You don't want to be a baby mother. You don't want to be a baby father. I was talking to my husband about that. I think it was this morning or yesterday morning. And I said to him, we was talking about marriage, and I was like, we ain't had to get married. You just could have been my baby father. And he was like, no, I couldn't. I've never wanted to be in a situation where somebody called me a baby daddy or a baby father. He's like, what kind of shit is that? I said, I'm just saying, sometimes that's the way shit happen. Like, this is my baby father. Can't do nothing about it. The shit didn't work out. We ain't work. This motherfucker over here done gave me the kids. We good though. But he didn't want that. He wanted to be a husband, and he wanted to have a wife. He wanted to have a queen. But there are certain things that I had to do to be that queen. You know, and I'm not going to go through the certain things, but there are certain things that you need to do in order to become a queen. And for that man to say that you are the one. And not just be with you. Not just be with you. And you might think I'm rambling on, but I'm getting to a point. Not just be with you. Some women are, it sounds like there are horses downstairs in my house. I don't know what the kids are doing, but they could be locking me in this room forever. Do I have enough water? Not just be with you, right? Because it's not cool for a dude to just be with you. It is not cool for a woman to just be with you. Settle with you. That shit ain't cool. Let me speak for myself. That shit ain't cool for me. It's not cool for me. Because in this situation, in a relationship, I believe titles are important. In my 30s, I don't want to be someone's girlfriend. I don't want to be your girlfriend. I don't want to be your bae. I don't want to be your baby mother. I don't want to be your bitch. I don't want to be your old lady. I don't want to be your side chick. I don't want to be the person that you just fuck, which could also just be a side chick. But then there's another level after the side chick, which is the person that you just like call at 12:30 and fuck, and literally just fuck, and then you get up, you get dressed, and then you're out, and then you hear from them next week. I don't want to be that either, right? At my age, I want to be a wife. Point blank, period. I'll leave the bae and the baby mother and all that other shit. I'll leave that for the teenagers and for the 20-somethings. I'm in my 30s. My late 30s. Yes. I still look like this. Look at that. Ooh. Ow. At this age, I want to be a wife. Point blank, period. Because I want my children to see me in that status. I want them to see what it looks like. I want my daughter to know what it looks like. I want my son to know what it looks like. Because I don't want them to think or even believe that there isn't hope out here. My son said to me today, he's 11, yo. You're not going to believe this. My son said to me today, my battery's going to go dead, but I thought this goddamn thing was charging. Oh, wait. My son said to me today, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go because my phone's going to go dead. My son said to me today, I was talking about one of my students and his mom and the issues that he's having with his mom. So my son, who's 11, said, well, where is his dad? And I said, well, he doesn't have a father. His father's not there. And he said, he has to have a father. You can't have a baby without a man. He has to have a father. I said, you're right. He said, even a biological, I don't know, somebody, he has to have a father there. I said, you're right. You cannot have a baby without a man. I don't care if you go to the sperm bank, you still need sperm. So he was right. I said, you can't have a baby without a man. But that doesn't mean that that man has to stay. And that's just the reality. I said, some men don't stay. My son said, that's so stupid. What is the mom supposed to do? Now, that is not every kid's reality, but that is my son's reality. And that is the reality I want for him to have. Because I don't want him to ever think or believe or fathom that there is a choice for him to walk out if he is in a relationship with a woman who I am hoping that is his wife, that he gets pregnant. I never want him to think that there is an option for him to leave, but if he was being raised with me without a father, he would know for a fact that men have options and men don't have to be there. That's why my status needs to be a wife at this age. Not just for me, but for my kids, for my son, for my daughter. I need for her to know and see what black love is. I need for her to know and feel what kind of love comes from a man to a woman. I need her to know that. I need them to know that. So I may sit up here, you may think I'm judging and I'm talking shit, but listen, I grew up in the hood. I know what fucked up relationships is like. I've had some fucked up niggas in my life. Yes, I have, and that's why I can talk about it, because I'm refined. I learned lessons, and you only have to do it to me once for me to learn that lesson. Not 2 times, not thrice, not 5 times, not I'm going to give you another chance. The D is good. Okay, yeah, I still like you. No. You only have to do it to me once in order for me to learn a lesson. Because this is not Monopoly. This is not motherfucking baseball. This is fucking chess. And what are you playing in chess, right? Everything is to protect the queen when you were playing chess, and I am the queen. But I already knew that. So the choices that I've made for myself in my relationships and in my life is not only for me, but I knew what I wanted to raise when I had children. I knew how I wanted my children to be. I knew what I wanted them to see. My kids cannot fathom what my daughter is now because she's in, almost in high school. So she has friends who don't have fathers and she understands that. My son is 11 and he does not understand that. And I'm so proud that he does not understand that. Like, that shit makes me blush. My son doesn't understand that a man is not there. And he has kids. Popping. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and kind of talk about that. Too bad, Jennifer Hudson. But if the shit was what they're saying is true, that's a fucked up move. And you're not going to win in the end because the universe is cyclical and it will come around and that shit will catch you on the back end. If you're really, really trying to make that man look bad when he has been a good father to your son and he's been good to you. And that's all I want to say. It is 7:23, and I think right now I should try to find my kids something to eat. I've been working since I came home. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Have a good weekend.